Hey YouTube, coming out with my first Spring Cup team. This was a team that I showcased on the first because I think like Lanturn and Trevenant were a good pairing with Galarian Weezing as a great save swap. They are a great pairing except for one Pokemon, and I will showcase that in these battles. This team is basically like, I wouldn't use this team because there is a core breaker for it, which I will showcase. But this team is each one of these Pokemon is very strong on its own. I know Galarian Weezing has been showcased multiple times as like a save swap. Just being able to hit pretty much everything for at least neutral here. Trevenant is obviously very, very good in a meta that has a lot of grass. It's a grass that's going to beat pretty much every other grass, almost. Lanturn is the one I want to showcase here because I think Lanturn is probably one of the best backline Pokemon because you often see Pokemon as safe swaps that it can deal with. Weezing, because if you come in Weezing, you can only throw non-stab Brutal Swing. There is Tentacruel, which is used. Tentacruel is used as a safe swap constantly. I know people. I saw Yonkers put out just last night, and it's a team that I was actually running with my third team, which I won't be able to showcase because I'm headed out for Easter. But it's a double. I used a double poison line, Quillfish and Tentacruel in the back. That's very common. So there's these two just very common poison water type Pokemon in the back, plus Galarian Weezing as safe swaps. So I think Lanturn in the back is an amazing option in this meta because it can take out all those Pokemon. Now the problem is, not that it's a problem, but a lot of times if they are running that water, double water poison or double water in the back, they are running some sort of like Trevenant, Abomasnow, some sort of grass, Ferrothorn in the front where you're just kind of like walled coming back in. So that's your only problem. But if you don't, like, even they're coming in this matchup, this is not a great matchup. Like, you take like 3 Brutal Swings plus, and they're not getting out. So I'm like, they're probably weak in the again. They're probably double weak in the back to Lanturn, like a double water team in the back, just with not a grass on the front. So I'm just like staying in here. I'm gonna shield. They're shielding here. I'm like, okay, they are 100% weak. I can live a Brutal Swing, but I'm like, I know you're weak in the back to this. So I'm just gonna shield, farm down, and there's your Pelipper, right? We know Pelipper's in here constantly too. Going straight for the nuke because I already have the Shadow Ball on the Trevenant and they do not shield, and this game is over. Right? Lots of Pelippers in the back too. So Tentacruel was everywhere. Galarian Weezing was everywhere. So Lanturn, great answer. I think Trevenant is also very, very strong in this meta. Again, there's so many grass type Pokemon, which is great because you can deal with that. There's a lot of water type Pokemon, in particular these like water poison type Pokemon or Lanturn, right? Right. So because it's a water, I forgot the meta. It's a water, grass, and fairy. So when Trevenant can do great against most of the grass outside of Abomasnow, it can do. I don't know if that's the only one, but for the most part, that's its main answer. It can do great against water type Pokemon, except for these like half poison, where then grass is just neutral. And then you have just a Shadow Ball, Shadow Claw, Shadow Ball, which is great against fairies in general. So really, really strong this meta. I'm going to be honest, Galarian Weezing kind of disappointed me, and I think it's because I saw so many of the Tentacruels in this meta, which very much limits its play. I think it does have a lot of play because there's a lot of Trevenants, there's a lot of grass, which you can overheat. Brutal Swing, you get to really, really quickly. So you can just spam that. So I think it does have play. I just think that with so many teams running Tentacruel, because again, Poison is super effective against Fairy, and Poison is super effective against Grass, which is why the bulky Poison Pokemon there, blanking on the name, was banned. And that's why people are using Tentacruel as a safe slot, because it just like has so many good matchups. So keep that in mind with that. So I lost CMP here. We're both going to C-Bomb bait because there's no reason not to, because C-Bomb, even it won't KO, but then you can just Shadow Claw down and keep switch. So we both did that, and I know they're going to win to CMP here, so I'm just going to catch it on this because I know that with the poison, this is resisted. So this is why it's a decent safe swap. Absorb that Seed Bomb. I've got C-Bomb banked. Out comes the Tentacruel, right? So this is why I had problems. This is why I had problems all day with Weezing. Because of Tentacruel everywhere. So honestly, I actually Tentacruel's on my third team because like I said, I got another team coming tomorrow, which I did which I'm filming right after this, coming tomorrow. I like the team that I'm running tomorrow, and you'll see it tomorrow. And then I only did like 3 games with my third line, and my third line was this double poison, Tentacruel, and Quillfish team. So I won't be able to film that because I'm headed out tonight. So I'll start with running with that tomorrow, and then switch it up as I go along. So, and then I'm sure I'll find a team. And so while I'm gone, if you're subscribed to this channel, I've been putting out like fun quizzes and stuff like that. So I will, while I'm gone, put out a community post that basically says, here is teams that are working for me while I'm gone, so you can at least check them out. So hit the subscribe button if you're new to don't miss that. And like I said, if you're new to this channel, or if you've seen my most recent video, I put out a video on Tuesday called How I Adjust to a Limited Meta. And this is a prime example. So you have this meta. It's very, very small. Like, it seems to be narrowing very quickly. I haven't seen many unique Pokemon. It's a lot of like Lanturn, Trevenant, Weezing, Tentacruel, Quillfish, Pelipper. Like, it seems like very limited meta. So I gave my opinion on, not opinion, I gave you my strategy on how I go about adjusting in a limited meta, right? So there's the meta that you know, which is coming. Like, this is a spicy team. I remember this team. I was like, whoa, this is spicy. There's the meta that you know is happening. By tomorrow, by the time this is probably going live, which is why I think Lanturn is a good idea, Tentacruels are going to be everywhere, because Yonkers just showcased it. Home Slice Henry showcased how strong it is. Double poison line, they will be everywhere. So then what you're going to see is you're going to see a lot of people bringing up Lanturns. I wouldn't be surprised if you get a sort of like Shadow Swampert again, quite honestly, because I know Swampert has its limitations in the front, but you know what? If I can get, I'm actually thinking about using like a Swampert, because if I use a Shadow Swampert, I'm going to easily beat the poisons, and I'll still come out with a Hydro Cannon. And you best believe that Shadow Swampert Hydro Cannon is still going to do like 50% to most of these grass Pokemon, right? So I am very much thinking about using Swampert. So that's what you're going to see. You're going to see the meta. You're going to see counter meta. So I do think that tomorrow, as we go into the weekend, you will see more answers to Tentacruel popping up. And then you get the next iteration, which is, okay, I'm seeing all these answers to Tentacruel. Now I need the answers to the answers, is essentially how you go about modifying your team build. So, like, just off the bat, Pelipper seems like, again, it's not great. Actually, it's not great if you get Lanturn on it, but it's great if you get like a Swampert, because it deals with that. And then like it's the wing attack plus Hurricane if you land a nuke, which they do here, would do great against Tentacruel, even though the poison jabs are probably going to add up too. So that is my thought process behind this meta. Like I said, all 3 of these Pokemon have play. I don't know. This is the thing. I think Galarian Weezing will have more play towards the end of the meta, right? Because I do think it is okay right now, but not super strong because of the Tentacruels and the poisons. So I'm just going to let it go away and then come back. Anyways, Core Breaker. Abomasnow. Yeah, this sucks. Abomasnow is going to destroy Trevenant and Lanturn here. So don't run this team as is. You can run something in the back. So you either run a different lead that can beat Lanturn. So like I said, I like Lanturn in the back because of the reasons I said, like Tentacruel and Pelipper and everything that's being run as a safe swap to beat that. So I like Trevenant in the back, or Lanturn in the back. So if you want to do a different lead instead, I still think you need an answer. You can run your own Abomasnow, quite honestly, with this team. No, you can't, because then you're double weak to poison. You're double weak. Your Tentacruel would light up Abomasnow and Weezing. So you can't do Abomasnow. So you can't do a pure grass. That's why I put in Trevenant, because it's a better answer to that. You could use Ferrothorn. And the strength of Ferrothorn with Flash Cannon is Flash Cannon will one-shot then Trevenant's going to be a bit, Trevenant's a bit of an issue then. That's the only problem. So, right? It's one of those things where it's like, and I always love these comments in my videos, like, oh, I've got a team that destroys this team. Well, yeah, there's always going to be a team that destroys your team. There's not ever going to be a team that beats everything. That's that's kind of how GBL works, right? So I'm just trying to think like what your options are, right? So this team is the weak to Abomasnow. If you put in Ferrothorn, you're a bit weak to Trevenant on the lead. You'd kind of have to stay in there and just try and hit with flash cannons. I tried Mywell, but I tried Mywell with Trevenant. I did not try Mywell with Lanturn. Would Mywell work? Fire Fang will light up your Abomasnows, would light up your grass. You would have, again, the only problem would be Tentacruel. You have a Tentacruel on the lead. I mean, the poison jabs are resisted. They'd be able to throw Scald on you, and then your Power Punch and Play Rough is resisted. So it's a rough matchup, and then you lose the Weezing too. So that's kind of tough. So what is a neutral Pokemon that can deal with Trevenant, Abomasnow, and Tentacruel? But this is essentially like the thought process that I go through all the time. It's like, okay, like this team, like the backline, just need to modify for what I'm seeing. Little changes here and there. Let me just go into pvpoke right now and just look at the rankings and see if there's anything that just pops up here that I would say like, so right. So Ferrothorn, Abomasnow, right? I said you can't do Abomasnow because of, poison. You cannot do Trevenant because of Abomasnow. Pelipper. Pelipper's interesting because I said Pelipper is a good answer because Pelipper will super effective wing attacks on the Abomasnow, super effective wing attacks on the Trevenant, and being able to wing attack and Hurricane a Tentacruel if that comes in. What are your main weaknesses? Obviously Lanturn is your main weakness, but you have your own Lanturn, and Weezing can kind of deal with it. It's not great. Quillfish, but you have your Lanturn. Abomasnow, Trevenant. Abomasnow and Trevenant are losses too. I guess so, because they can just outpace you, and it requires like a bait weather ball to land a Hurricane. I don't mind Pelipper on the lead for this team, quite honestly. Credilli, I have not seen. Yeah, sure, Credilli would be rough for this team, but like I have in 25 matches today, I did not see Credilli. And then Abomasnow, Trevenant, Venusaur are all losses, but they're like very, very close losses. And then you beat Tentacruel, and you beat the other grasses, Ferrothorn, Tropius, Shadowvec, Jumpuff, right? So those will all deal with that. So I don't mind that. So Pelipper, this is how I'd modify this team. I would go Pelipper lead, Weezing, and Lanturn. That is an improvement on this team. So there we go. That is how I figure it out. Anyways, that's the team one. Like I said, I'm using double poison right now, but I think that's going to get countered very quickly. So I'm probably just going to use it for like a few more sets and then switch it up. Because again, I think the meta is going to shift very quickly to answer Tentacruel because they are everywhere. So keep that in mind if you are team building. And that's why Pelipper, again, outside of Lanturn, Pelipper may be a good answer for what you may see as counters to Tentacruel. So outside of Lanturn. So keep that in mind. Let me know in the comments below if you ran something today that worked. Maybe I will run it this weekend. Yeah, like I said, so I'm headed out. I don't think I'm on the road yet. Depending on when you're watching this, I'm probably already on the road. Back to see my family for Easter. So I've got one more team coming tomorrow for Spring Cup. And then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I've got the best, and Great League and Ultra League is the best non-XL, non-legendary Pokemon to build up. And Master League, because everything's XL, just the best non-legendary Pokemon to build up. And then I got another Master League video going Monday afternoon that my buddy sent, and then Tuesday I will be back and I'll kind of showcase my best of teams Tuesday morning, and then we switch over the league Wednesday to What do we switch the league over next week? I think we go back to everything. Yeah. Great League, Ultra League, Master League, and Evolution Cup. So I will probably put out a bunch of like best team videos on Wednesday. That is it. Appreciate watching. Appreciate thumbs up and comments. Subscribe if you're new. And I will see you guys in the next one.